Hey friends, welcome back to the Bald Booktuber. My name is Scott. We will wait a little bit to see if anybody pops in, but today we're going to do an unboxing and we are going to just answer some questions and so forth. So, looking forward to seeing some folks. I'll give it, like I said, a few minutes. I see a couple people have popped in. Uh, Feel free to say hello. I hope everybody is having a great Saturday so far. Hey, Martin, how are you, sir? I hope you're doing well. Hey, Brent, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Good to see you, sir. All right, we've got some folks coming in. We'll give it a little bit of lead time here, but the main thing we'll be doing today is an unboxing of the special edition of Dregs of Empire, the latest novella by Christopher Ruocchio, to uh, put on the shelf there along with The Lesser Devil and Queen Amid Ashes. Hey, Matthew, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So I hope you are all having a great day. It is the 17th of February, so we have spring training games coming very soon here in the Valley. And to this point, my Cubs still have not signed Cody Bellinger. So it has been a very bad offseason by and large. But I hope you are all doing well. Hey, Zen, what's up, man? I hope you are doing good, sir. I think you have also read Dregs of Empire so far. I know Brent has. It is a great book, and I'm looking forward to unboxing it. Yeah, Matthew, this is the Anderida book special edition to go alongside the others, and it also includes the special slipcase, which I paid a little bit more money for and had to wait so long. Uh, I don't know what the market is for Bellinger. I don't know if the Cubs are bidding against themselves, um, but he's one of four players that are clients of what's his face, the power agent that can never get anybody uh, get anybody signed. So it is what it is. I hope he's a Cub very soon. I need him to be a Cub very very soon. Yeah, I knew you'd read Disquiet Gods. I thought you had read Dregs of Empire. Do you did the Anderida copy too or not? I'm not sure. Any whoosies. All right. Yes, Scott Boras, correct. Thank you. I forget his name because he's terrible for baseball and he's hurting my life. So I try to put him out of out of my mindset, but that's all right. Martin is currently reading Ashes of Man. Very, very good. I love Ashes of Man. It is maybe one of the slower ones in the series. Maybe towards the bottom of my list of favorites, but still 5 stars. I think it's exceptional, and it's kind of a, I would say, like a breath of fresh air that we needed after after Kingdoms of Death. Okay, you're doing the lettered editions. Okay, very cool. Yeah, so very very cool. I didn't go that route, but kind of wish I would have. Yeah, I saw. I picked up the audio as well. So that is good. Cool. Oh, you're gonna do it next year. Okay, very cool. That'll be a good time to do it in time for book number 7. So I will tag along with you. That sounds good. All right. Well, I know what everybody's here for, so let's get started. So let's kind of see. Oh, one sec. Thought Kingdoms of Death had a weak first half, but a very strong second one. Rockio made me doubt if he could. Oh, interesting. Kingdoms of Death is my favorite in the series, and I'm definitely in the minority on that. I really enjoy a lot of what goes down in the first half. Like I think like the Lorians or whatever, not what are they called? Lothrians. I think all that stuff is very cool, and I know a lot of people didn't dig that part very much. And the second half is, of course, just balls to the wall action. So crazy good. Redemption arc. Okay, so I had meant to get to Alistair Reynolds' Revelation Space last year, and I hadn't gotten to it yet. I do need to still. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I did take like a sampling of just first couple chapters of the first book and really liked it, but I just haven't gotten back to it yet. So that is good news. Also Matthew's favorite, Kingdom's Death. I know it's high on Brent's list as well, so that is good. Okay, let's talk about how we got here. So let me, if I'm not interacting with the chat, it's because I'm doing other stuff here for a minute. So this is The Lesser Devil and Other Stories. This was the kind of first edition I got from Anderida. Very, very nice. I love the lettering and everything in here. It's hard to see, I know, number 359 of 500, which, I could already tell you can't see that. And on the back here, it says, live by the sword, die by the sword, all very cool. And then we got Queen Amid Ashes, which might be my favorite piece of writing he's done. I think Queen of Ashes is absolutely brilliant. This also, number 359 of 500. So hopefully, unless I've done something wrong, this should also be number 359. We will see how it goes. So let me, so it's in a pretty big box here. And the reason for the bigger box is that there's also a slipcase in here. So let me get out my handy knife here and ever so carefully get this baby going. Okay. And I have many nice things to say about Anderida. Their shipping costs are not one of the nice things, but they do, for the cost, definitely package it well, and they do make sure you get your stuff in good working order. So, lots of bubble wrap. We like bubble wrap. Okay, I think that is everything. Let's put this here. Anything interesting? No, just a packing slip. Okay. So here is the case. It's got some cool art all around it, which is very neat. And here, there's what the inside of the slipcase looks like. And here we can see the beautiful art on the cover there. The spine looks real sharp. That's what it looks like on the back there. Let's see if I got the right number. 359. So we have our matching number. Everything looks very good. And this is cool. Actually, like it's hard to see, I know, but like the chapter headings are in blue, which is kind of cool. And like the page numbers are blue. And I know in the Lesser Devil, they're red lettering, which is very cool. So that is good to see. Now for the real test, if everything fits in the box correctly and how they look lined up. So far, so good. Okay. So there we have our slipcase. We've got our matching spines, everything looking super sharp. I dig it. Dig it, I dig it. Very, very cool. So we're going to put that carefully back here and hopefully get it somewhere in the frame. Worth the wait. Definitely worth the wait. So looking good. Let's see, some more people popped in and I missed a bunch of stuff. So let's see what happened. Yeah, Brent says I need to reread Ashes because when I first read it, I loved it, but with time, it's probably not on the level of Howling Dark, Demon in White, Disquiet Gods, etc. Probably true for me as well, but there is a lot of stuff I really dug in that one. A lot of stuff with the Emperor and so forth that I thought was super cool. Still in love with Empire Silence. Well, I will never fault you for that. Fantastic book. People seem to not like the Lothrian stuff, but I thought it was kind of awesome. I did too. Hey, Chadia, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. Book mail is always nice. Yeah, I don't get a ton of it because I typically do digital, but this is definitely one series I'm collecting way too many physical copies of, so that will continue. I'm doing well, Chadia. How are you doing? Yeah, bubble wrap is cool. I'll probably pop that later for a bit and use that to relax and de-stress. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, the Diamond Edition, I don't know. I sort of have been reading the updates, but I don't know what the latest update for delivery is. I think it'll still be this year. And I know that Howling Dark Diamond Edition orders will be coming at some point. So I need to be ready for that financially. Yeah, I can't wait to do that. I got the one with like the deluxe cover or whatever. So I'm pretty psyched for that. We'll do an unboxing on that one as well. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, the like I was kind of nervous the slipcover wouldn't be anything, but it's actually kind of sweet. Oh, hey Aaron, how you doing, man? I didn't I didn't connect the dots, but it is good to see you, my friend. I hope things are good. Cool. Um, so that's the entertainment portion of our program. What what questions does everybody have? What can I answer for everybody? What have you been up to? What have you been reading? Last I heard, we were behind in line. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So one of the, I guess, challenges of working with Steve Diamond is he's the guy that turned Sanderson onto that particular printer that they use. So obviously, Sanderson printing is taking up a lot of resources and taking away from other stuff. Which also reminds me, I think it's next month. Words Radiance special edition comes out, and I will need to get that as well. So um, the trouble of being a collector, I guess. Hey, Paramita, how you been? I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing good. All right, sweet. So new stuff on the shelf is always good. What does everybody have in mind? What do you want to talk about? We've got a few folks here. We can rap about whatever is on everybody's mind. I'm open to questions. I'm open to whatever you want to talk about. So let's see what everybody is up to. Uh, yeah, that is the plan. So I have book number one over there, which for some reason I can't think of right now. Uh, but I'll think of it in a minute. But yeah, so I don't do a ton of, like I said, physical media, but those two particular series, I'm definitely collecting. At some point, I do want to do the Song of Ice and Fire folio editions as well, but they're always too expensive for me, and I haven't gotten around to that yet. But yeah, Stormlight, even though it's crazy expensive, I'm sort of pot committed after getting the first one there. Yeah, so I am about 70% into the Saga of the Forgotten Warrior Book One. Was it Son of the Black Sword? Is that the name of the first book? I can't remember. By Larry Correa, which I'm quite enjoying. I know it is a big. Uh, it was highly recommended by my friend Brent, who's here in the chat, and with good reason. I think it's very well written. I think it's very interesting. The way that he does battle scenes is very cool. I think that the sentient swords, or in this case, sword, ancestral sword, is a very crucial and interesting part of the story. Um, I like kind of the setting and stuff, and sort of a kind of a post theistic type of world where kind of the church has fallen and these kind of things. I think that's an interesting thing to explore. So I'm really enjoying it, and I should hopefully wrap that up maybe today or tomorrow. We'll see. I've been reading a little bit slow, but I should get that done pretty soon. I got about 150 pages. And then probably after that, I will pick up kind of the next one I have to do in my kind of King overall read, Stephen King read. And I think that's The Dark Half, if I remember correctly. So try and get to that this month as well. Currently reading Off Armageddon Reef by David Weber. Yeah, you're talking about that. It said quite cool. Next, I'll be starting Last King of Ostart. Okay, yeah, I need to get back to Tad. Uncle Tad needs my attention at some point, but I have not gotten around to it and committed the brain space to it yet. Paramita watches movies now along with reading a new development. It's going about as well as my reading. Okay, fair enough. Have you watched anything good lately? Anything worth note? Um, I've watched some awful movies lately at the theater with my wife, so we can talk about those if anybody wants to. It's been a while since I've seen a good movie, but eventually we'll get back to that. Yeah, so other than that, what I've been reading, I wrapped up Cujo at the end of January, which I thought was okay, but I was a little disappointed with it. This month so far, I started off reading The Hunt for Red October with Brent. He's doing a thriller read along, and I did. What else did I do? I thought there was something else, and now for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. And then this, kind of my overall goal or project right now is I'm trying to get through all of King's novels. I've only read like, I don't know, 30 of them probably, and I want to get through all of them. So anything that I've read within the last 2 years, I'll skip on this read along, but anything that's been longer than 2 years or that I've never done, I'm getting into for the first time. So I reread The Stand in January and loved it as much as the first time, maybe more. And I read The Long Walk for the first time, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, really, really good so far. I'm having a great time, and if it gets better as the series progresses, I know that I'm in for a very good time. Excuse me. I'm kind of getting over a cold, so apologize in advance for some sniffles and so forth. Another Brent recommendation to add to the list. Yeah, and I know Mike just read it recently and really enjoyed it as well. So good to see it getting out there. So that is good. Like Hereditary, and Alien. Okay, yeah, Alien is a classic. Hereditary, I haven't watched, but I've heard good things. Um, you also asked what I'm watching, so I mean, this has been a little while ago, but I just wrapped up season 2 of Reacher, which I really liked on Amazon, and I just binged the 2 seasons available of Lincoln Lawyer, which is fantastic, and that also was a Brent recommendation. So I don't watch a ton of TV, but when I do, I got to make sure it's stuff I like. So those 2 series, highest of recommends. Movies to avoid. Okay. Um, Movies have been pretty rough lately. I usually go in expecting a competently shot movie. So, uh, and that's been tougher lately. So, uh, I've talked about this before, but my wife and I are members of AMC Stubs List, which allows you to watch essentially endless movie. And it's not what it is, but it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 movies a week, something like that. More than we could ever, possibly get to the theater and watch for like 20 bucks each a month. It's a great deal. It would be better if there were stuff worth watching. But anyway, back to that in a second. So we've watched 3 movies recently, and I didn't like any of them. The least bad was Lisa Frankenstein, which I would never have watched, but she wanted to watch it. It was kind of set in the 80s, and it had kind of some Edward Scissorhands vibes and stuff. Not the end of the world. If you just want to kind of turn your brain off and laugh, it's worth doing for that. I did not particularly like anything about it, but I also don't have too much bad to say. On the other hand, the other 2 movies we watched, I have a lot bad to say. So we went and saw Argyle, and I had hoped. it would at least be fun. I had hoped that we'd get at least some Henry Cavill kind of camming it up and being fun, and that's not what it was at all. And it had just twist after twist, and none of them made any sense. Um, if you get a chance, Leanna's Library did a great video where she actually read the book too. There is a book apparently that it was based on, and she compares and contrasts both, and she, also disliked both. Check out her video. It is very entertaining, and yeah, it's I don't know what to say. Like I went in expecting something like the Kingsman movies, which to some degree I sort of enjoy because it's that same director. But it's that times a million and just completely incomprehensible and just a disaster. And you have, excuse me, you've got Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson, which that's fine, I guess. You got Bryan Cranston being Bryan Cranston, which again, that's fine, I guess. But nobody is really giving it their all in that movie. And Argyle wasn't even the worst thing I've seen. The worst thing I've seen was Madam Web, which might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. There's a great meme out there with all kinds of ridiculous stuff, and it says, choose the thing that didn't happen in the movie. And then off to the side, it says, I'm just kidding. All this stuff did happen. And I won't tell you what happened because if you care about spoilers for an awful comic book movie, I don't want to ruin that experience for you. But just Dakota Johnson just packing it in, just collecting her paycheck. Like she's done interviews afterwards where they asked her about how she felt about the movie. She hasn't even watched it yet, stuff like that. Um, it felt like how every once in a while you see like a rookie director will make a movie and you're like, well, they're getting the hang of it. It's the first time. This felt like a director who'd never seen a movie before. Like it was really, really, really bad. Um, and if you like any of these movies, it's great. I don't want to tarnish anything for anybody, but um, Hollywood is pretty rough shape. I'll just say I'm excited for Dune Part Two. I know that's going to be good. Everything else I've seen lately has been quite bad. Let's see. Dark Knight. Is that the first time watching Dark Knight? Fantastic movie. Fountain. Okay. Fountain. I saw that a long time ago. That was the one with Hugh Jackman in it, right? I haven't seen that forever. Cool. Yeah, got a long look. It was on sale for $1.99. Yeah, I hope you. Oh, you forgot to buy it. Oops. Yeah, Long Walk is great. I had a fantastic time with that book. Surprisingly, I didn't know what to expect going in, and I had a really really good time. Hey, Rogue, what's up, man? Thanks for dropping in. Finished Lonesome Dove, fantastic. If it wasn't for, well, I haven't read it, but everybody tells me it's fantastic. If it wasn't for Fool's Errand, it would be my book of the month. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you loved it, and I'm more glad that you loved Fool's Errand, one of the best books ever written by my favorite author. Steve says, I'm reading all the Castle Rock novels and novellas by King in March. Oh, you're reading all of them in March. Okay, very cool. Yeah, so my friend, I'm so envious of people that read fast because I way don't. Like on a really good month, I get in like 7 books. Excuse me. Most months it's like 4. So I'm very envious of people that can read a lot faster than I can, and more consistently. My friend Jack over Jack the Bookstack just did a deal where she did 31 books in 31 days in January, and that's mind-boggling to me. I don't know that I could ever do that. Hoping the new Planet of the Apes is going to be good. So that's a franchise and a property that I just have never gotten into. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad a lot of people love it, but I just haven't really tried. So I probably should check those out and see if I like them or not. But it certainly looks well shot, and the visuals and stuff look super cool. I've seen the trailers and so forth. Yeah, we did watch Lisa Frankenstein. That was a Debbie special. She wanted to watch it, so we did. She wanted some comedy horror. Yeah, you know, I've sat through worse stuff. I'll say that. It was like a bad version of Edward Scissorhands, is how I would describe it to people, along with some American Pie style toilet humor. So you get what you get. Reading Shogun, very cool. Looking forward to the miniseries. Yeah, I'd like to check out the miniseries. It's also a book I want to read in the series I want to get into, but I just haven't gotten to yet. Yeah, I like the first Kingsman movie a lot as well, and I was hoping it would be. I was hoping Argyle would be kind of in that vein, but unfortunately, it took kind of the worst tendencies of that guy, like some of the just awful stuff that he did in the subsequent Kingsman movies, and just ballooned it, and ratcheted up, which I thought was terrible. And the big reveal, I think, is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen portrayed on a movie screen. So whoever was in charge of that script, I've got words. It did have Dua Lipa. That's that is correct. Uh, I don't know if I could pick out a Dua Lipa song if my life depended on it. She did look pretty good in the movie, but you know that, that's what she wasn't not a sell. Did I like Napoleon? I did not like Napoleon. Although I think there were aspects of it that were very good. The cinematography was exceptional. I thought some of the acting was quite good. But I felt like Phoenix was over the top in his portrayal, and it really focused on a lot of stuff I just don't care about. Like I wanted to know more about the battles. I wanted to know more about the events leading up to that. Like I guess slight spoiler alert, but they'll pan in and they're in a battle in Egypt, and I have no idea. Like I don't know the history, so I don't know why they're there. I don't know what they're fighting for. I don't have any concept of why this is meaningful, and that's the stuff I wanted to know about. So it could be a me problem, but I just didn't care about the love story that permeated, if you even want to call it that. It was a very weird and awkward deal. So Dakota Johnson is a nepo baby who can't act. What is nepo baby? I don't know what that means. I will agree that she is not a good actress. Gave up on movies a few years ago, probably for the best. Occasionally, something good will still come out, but it is much fewer and much further between. Hey, Jason, what's up, man? I hope you're enjoying it out here. I hope all is well. It's been in the 70s throughout the day here in February, so a good time to be out here. So enjoy your stay, my friend. I hope everything is going well with you and your family there. Madam Web is just a side character in the comics. I didn't think she'd be that interesting. She's definitely not interesting. And my understanding is that the Madam Web we see in the movie has nothing at all to do with the comics anyway. So I'm really not sure what the point of the movie was. They're really Sony is leaning hard into these kind of Spider-Man adjacent movies, and it's just not going well. Morbius was a disaster. This is a disaster. Like nobody's asking for this, and they continue to just shovel awfulness on top of us. Um, my understanding is that there's going to be more crossovers, and that Tom Holland is going to be in some of these Sony movies, and I think that's just all of it is a nightmare, and I'm not looking forward to it because I'm gonna watch all of it. Like I pay my $20 a month, so I'm gonna get my money's worth as I can, and I'm not looking forward to following any of it. Ah, cool. Still on sale. Good deal. Yeah, $1.99 is a great price for that book. I hope you have a great time with it. I also thoroughly enjoyed the audiobook. I forget who the narrator was, but I thought he did a great job. Ah, very good. How is Howling Dark going for you? And I hope you are enjoying it and loving it as much as I do. Yeah, Fool's Errand, definitely in my top three Hob novels. My favorite is still Assassin's Fate. So my top three are Assassin's Fate, Fool's Fate, and Fool's Errand, but they're fairly interchangeable. All three of them, I think, are some of the best things I've ever read in my life, and I think they're absolutely masterfully done. Oh, hey, Matt, how you doing, man? Bald compatriot, good to see you. You really need to go read Lonesome Dove. I will. I will read Lonesome Dove. Hopefully this year. I don't know when. Uh, Everybody tells me it's a masterpiece. I'm not really into westerns, but uh, I'm told that I should read it anyway, and I appreciate another recommendation to do so. Uh, it is another one people have been on me to do. I did 10 a month once and didn't pick up another book for nearly, yeah, I get that. So that's part of my problem when I'm going through what I feel are too many books. I tend to experience burnout. So she never does. She's great. Jack in the Book Stack. If you are not already have done so, please subscribe to her channel. She's awesome. She posts much more consistently than me. She's an amazing person, and she deserves everybody's support. And check out her video of the 31 days, 31 books in 31 days. If you want Frankenstein comedy, that is what Young Frankenstein is for. Yes, one of the greatest movies ever made. That is correct. Um, Mel Brooks, this movie was not, but Young Frankenstein, I could watch 100 times and laugh just as hard every single time. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Ridley Scott does appear to be pretty hit or miss, especially lately. I haven't seen all of his stuff, but I I thought I was gonna really enjoy Napoleon, and it didn't. It didn't work out. I know a lot of people did, and I understand what they liked about it, but I left disappointed. So okay, that makes more sense. I get it, and you're not wrong. So so that makes perfect sense. I don't understand the appeal personally. I'm not, you know, but you know, it's interesting. I think she was under the impression that this was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and she's actually since fired her agent, which is comical to me. Because like when she was trying to promote it on Twitter and stuff, she was like tagging uh, Marvel Studios and stuff, and it is in partnership with Marvel, but not a Marvel movie, obviously. So pretty funny. Somebody gave her some bad information there. Her grandmother was the lead in the Birds. Is that interesting? Who who was the lead singer? I should know that. I'll remember his name later. I can't remember the lead singer of the Birds. Sydney Sweeney. It's interesting. She's quite attractive. That is very correct. Um, so she's in her 20s, and they have her and the other women in the movie playing teenagers effectively. And so Dakota Johnson's in like her mid 20s, early 30s, trying to protect these teenagers. So they in all like the promotional material and stuff, they've got Sydney wearing some pretty revealing, I'll say, attire, and it's really like super trimmed down and business professional, I guess you would call it in the movie. So it's an interesting dichotomy. She was fine. Her character was fine. Um, but yeah, what can you do? Brothers Gwyn. Yeah, those guys are great. I love those guys. I have not kept up with their videos lately, but I'm glad they're posting again. They're reading and doing a read along with Lonesome Dove. Okay, cool. That'd be a good thing to hop onto. Excellent. I am always happy when people are loving Howling Dark. What a unbelievably good book, and absolutely takes that series to new heights, which is great. Okay. Yeah, at some point I will. I don't know if I'm ready right now for a 1,000-page western, but I'll get to it. I promise. Um, and we're caught up with comments. I hope everybody. Yeah, I hope all is well. What else do we want to talk about? What else do we got going on? I'm trying to think if there's really a whole lot else here. The Cubs have their first spring training game next week, so I'll be going to that. I'm excited. Um, they need to not be horrible this year for me. That'd be a good start. and so that's good. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are well on their way to a great offseason, and I'm looking forward to the spring game. That's not till April, though. So my sports teams are slowly coming along. So the winter of my discontent is slowly getting out there. But the good news is it gives me more time to read right now. So that is all right. Promise, Jake, I'll restart Sun Eater after finishing Dandelion Dynasty and Tawny Man. Cool. I hope that you do. I hope that you love it. It is, as we know, a signature series for me. I've always said to anybody that is willing to listen, if there was ever a series written specifically for me, it's Sun Eater. So good stuff. You're rereading. That's right. You're doing Fool's Assassin right now. Hob just puts Fool's Assassin. That is correct. Randomly Endure books. That's correct. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I love that whole series. It's my favorite trilogy. So I am due a reread of it at some point too, but I don't know when I'll get to it. So I'm trying to prioritize reading new stuff this year. We'll see how that goes. Or at least stuff that if I'm gonna reread it, stuff I haven't read recently. I'm trying to do that, and for the most part, I've been pretty good about it so far. Oh, that's okay, Chadia. DNF Cloud the Conciliator, not in the mood. You don't have to apologize to me. I didn't write the book. It's okay. It's so Book of the New Sun is a series that really requires quite a bit of investment, in my opinion, and it has to be something you're in the mood for. Actually, Brent and I were sort of working our way through Earth of the New Sun, the Coda novel that was written after the main series, and we both sort of paused at about the halfway point. So I get it. You have to really be in it as far as that goes. Claw was probably my favorite in that series, but it's also maybe the most weird, and that's maybe why I like it the most. So that's okay. You don't have to apologize. No problem at all. Be glad to be free of obligation of Hob a month. It's too much. I'm burnt out. Okay. Well, I mean, who are you obligated to? That's the question. No one's making you read these books, man. You can take a pause whenever you want to. Plan on taking a break after Tawny Man, which is probably a good idea. I think that's reasonable. Um, and probably Tawny Man is as good a time as any to take a break, so that makes perfect sense to me. Cool. Zen's funny, man. Like he has these obligations and these things that he must do, but no one's making you, man. It's your choice. It's your life. Okay, well that's fair. You feel obligated to the other people you're reading along with. That's fair. I get that. And yeah, I agree with this, and this is why I have trouble with read alongs sometimes. The obligation actually makes me enjoy it less. Um, so it gets to be a point where even if it's good, I'm more focused on I have to do this than I'm enjoying it, and that's not a good place to be. Um, at least for me. It could be different for other people. So kind of the type of read along I really like that I'm doing with Brent this year and some other people on Mike's Discord is we're doing a different thriller book every month, crime thriller, that type of thing, noir maybe. And the good thing about that is we're just picking an author and a book in their series and going. So like that's not we're going to read these 30 Connolly books. We're going to do one Michael Connolly here. We're going to do it. Tom Clancy there, etc., which I really like. It breaks things up nicely. Too much of a mood reader to commit to buddy reads. Yeah, I totally get that. Uh, I have to have some aspect of planning to my reading, or else it won't get done at all. But I do like to have allowance in there to be able to kind of do what I want. Yeah, rethinking read-alongs. I mean, certainly there are a lot of great qualities to them, and if everybody is enjoying it and keeping along with the conversation and that kind of stuff, it's great. But if everybody's like, man, we got another one of these next month. Like it gets to a point where it's maybe too much. Yeah, I get that too. I definitely get that too, Chatty. Or you have to wait until next month, You're like, well, this book was great, and I can't wait to see what happens. I got 2 weeks left before we get to next month's book. That's no good. I got to figure out something else to do. I get that. Try to binge, but I think you need a break from Hob as they're just so slow burn by the time. Yeah, I get it. I read them a book a month when I went through the entire series, and then I reread up through Tawny Man book a month. But I might have done those one or two a month. But either way, I get it. I'm one of those weird people that loves her kind of you know meandering pacing. That's okay with me, but I get how that could be a little bit frustrating. Trying to be a TBR reader. So far, so good. Excuse me. I was all over the place last year, and as Mike says, starting like 6 book ones. I get that as well. Starting too many book ones can be a bit hectic, and then you feel like you're not making any progress on the overall series. Yeah, immersive reading. Yeah, so it is Kindle specific. I don't believe Nook has anything comparable. I could be wrong. I know that Barnes and Noble did just release an audiobook service, so it's possible that it exists on their platform, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, with the Kindle interface and marketplace, if you own both the Kindle copy of the book and you own the audiobook copy, if it's Whisper Sync enabled, that's the key thing. It has to say that it's Whisper Sync enabled, which most audiobooks are, but not all of them. Then it will sync up and it will match the pace and it will match the as you read through. It'll kind of like a sing along type deal where it's playing the audio for you as it's highlighting the words on the text. Rereading Realm of the Elderly is also a little rough because you know exactly how stupid Fitz is. Well, yeah, I mean, he's an idiot, but he's our idiot, right? So I love Fitz to death. One of my favorite characters in fiction. Guy's a moron. What can you do? Chadia agrees. Yep. Cool. What else we got going on? Sorry, I'm swinging the energy drink here. It's a little early still. Um, I appreciate everybody being with me. All right, what else we got? Just quick scroll through, make sure I didn't miss anything. I will. I'll try to look into that, Steve. I'll try to see if because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about the Barnes and Noble marketplace for digital. I literally just saw the announcement that they have an audiobook um, type of environment now too. So maybe they've released something similar. Any plans to read Hammy this year, Peter F. Hamilton? I don't know. Maybe. Um, I know you are a big fan, and from what you tell me about it, I think I would really enjoy it. But the sheer size of those tomes is a little bit off-putting, but we'll see. If I do, I'll probably start with Pandora's Star, which I know you are a fan of, Brent. So I would like to. I'd like to get to it at some point. Plans for the weekend? I don't think so. So my wife and I work. Well, I work Sunday through Thursday. She works Sunday through Wednesday. So I'm kind of wrapping up my weekend today, and she is too, as it were. So yesterday we didn't do it a ton. We had some nice Japanese food at a place near us that we like, a little sushi place, kind of mom and pop, for lunch, which was nice. And then in the evening, we grabbed, there's like a French cafe we like called La Madeleine here locally. So we had some stuff there. We were going to watch a movie, but with how bad movies have been lately, we didn't do that yesterday. And she's still kind of recovering from the same cold that I just recovered from, so she needs some extra rest anyway. Um, Today, I think we're probably going to head over to Glendale. It's about 30 minutes away. It's where the football stadium is and stuff. So it's outside of Phoenix proper, but it's a nice area. We really like it out there. Um, there's like a Korean barbecue and stuff that she really enjoys, so we'll probably have that today. We like food a lot, if you haven't noticed. Um, so we'll probably do that today. And then last night I had like booktube related. I had a live stream. Well, it wasn't he a recording, and then he'll post it later over at some Okie dude. He posts quite a bit, and his name is Britton. Check out his channel, some Okie dude, and he should be posting that here at some point. So that was pretty fun. So short answer, no, I don't. I don't have a very exciting weekend lined up. Feel waiting for the next month builds excitement for the next book, and I'm pretty excited to read Mad Ship. Fantastic! I love Bad Ship. It's so good, so good. Of course, I say that about every live ship book. I think they're all amazing. So I hope you love Bad Ship. So good. Chatty likes food too, so it sounds like a perfect weekend. Yeah, we spend way too much eating out, but you know, you can't take it with you, I guess. So it is what it is. Cool. Excuse me. All right, what else we got? Let's see. I'm trying to think what else reading wise I really have planned. Like I probably will only get another book or two in this month. I'll probably do the second Saga of the Forgotten Warrior at some point this month, and I'll probably do a King book or two. Um, it's been a very good start to the year reading wise, but kind of a slow start in terms of like I'm not reading a ton of different things, but what I'm reading I'm really enjoying. Smoked a Boston butt last night, resting in a 170 oven now to pull this evening. That sounds pretty good. I do love pulled pork, so that sounds very good. What um, do you do you have a specific sauce that you like with it, or what do you use to for that? Gonna dive into the Cosmere this year and reread what I've read, so hopefully I can read Stormlight 5. Yeah, I am not gonna reread a lot of the Cosmere. I do hope and plan to at least reread Warbreaker and the first four novels in Stormlight Archive, leading up to Stormlight 5. Yeah, so I have only read Dune and Dune Messiah so far. I have sampled bits and pieces of of Children of Dune and God Emperor, but I can't say that I've read them. So I do at some point want to read that whole at least first six books in the series. I don't really care what his son did after that, but I quite enjoy. I love Dune, the original, and I quite enjoyed Dune Messiah. So we'll see how it goes. Slowly making your way through Malazan. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're doing the Esselmont books right now. Um, I haven't read any of those, have I? I read Night of Knives when it came out, and I didn't love it. So I haven't read the others in the novels of the Malazan Empire. But I did read, I think, the first two of his Path to Ascendancy, and I like those. But that's been a long time ago too. Dry brine for 2 days with diamond crystal kosher salt and used a couple salt-free rubs I had to pair with it in a mustard binder. And this is all very specific. When I sauce it, I'll use Heath Ryle's tangy vinegar barbecue. I love vinegar-based barbecue sauces, so that sounds delicious to me. Yeah, I bet those are fantastic. So when you do pulled pork, does that like get you through a week, or is that a few days worth of food, or that feels like a lot of effort. So I hope you're getting I hope you're getting good use out of it. So far, Orb Scepter Throne book four is the best of the Esselmont books. The others were pretty mid. Got it. Okay. Okay. Um, it's good to see that the quality seems to be getting better. At some point, I'd like to do all that, but um, like I'm not in a rush. So I'm glad you're enjoying what you're reading, though, and it's good to see that Orb Scepter Throne was cool. Alrighty. Well, we'll hang for about 10 more minutes. So now's the time if you have any pressing questions or anything you need and desperately want to know about me or about anything that I am enjoying or into. We could eat on it all week, but after we've eaten out of it a couple times, I'm tired of it. So I try to give away as much as I can. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. So you got people, friends and family that you give the leftovers to. That's awesome. Less than 20. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting that much out of less than $20, that is good stuff. That means you're better. You're better with your money when it comes to meal prep and planning than I am, which doesn't take a lot. Because I know that you're all massive chess fans like me, which is sarcasm. You should also know that Magnus won yet another title. So the greatest player of all time continues to do greatest player of all time things, as he ran over the competition in the Chess 960 Greatest of All Time Challenge. The only criticism I have of the event is that Wesley So should have been invited, as he is a former champion of that format, and Severin should have been invited, and Hikaru should have been invited. Maybe he wasn't. He didn't. He declined. But Hikaru won a championship in 960 last year as well. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, and you don't, chess 960, or as they called it in this event, freestyle chess, it's where the back rank pieces are scrambled randomly. So instead of having a rook on each side, a knight on each side, a bishop on each side, and then your king and queen, it mixes up all the pieces randomly, and there's 960 possible positions. It's my favorite chess variant. All the other rules are the same, and it takes away a lot of opening theory and hundreds of years of paralysis analysis and makes them just play chess. And it's just fantastic. I love it. So if you have questions about that, I can answer them. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Your buddy reading the Esmond novels. That's cool. That's true. Yeah, being able to kind of get through it because other people do, I get that. That makes plenty of sense to me. Gotten into food preservation too. Got a chamber vac and a 41 quart canner. Spent most of December and part of January canning a ton of fresh pork. Oh, it's cool. Neat hobby to have. That's okay. There's plenty of people that either don't know and or don't care to know about chess. So you don't have to apologize for that. That's all right. That's all right. I'm keeping chess.com in business. I'm not. There's a million people on the platform or more. Been fun to learn. Such a nice mental exercise. Yes, it very much is. The kind of puzzle aspect of it, and the ability to critically think, and the ability to reason, and to figure out planning and all these kinds of things. All great. I love it so much. Cool. I thought I was clever as a kid coming up with a a chess strategy probably that can win in 4 moves or so, but that's about as far as it goes. Yeah, so you worked out the scholar's mate, which is fine. Only work on okay. I did as a kid. I read a lot of chess books. So I read like Nimzovich's My System, which is a classic. I read books on Akiba Rubinstein, who's one of my favorite players of all time. I've read like Kasparov's Most Instructive Games, a lot of that kind of stuff. Um, Recently, I have kind of thumbed through and kind of skimmed over a lot of the stuff about Alpha Zero and kind of the chess revolution when it comes to engine based chess stuff. So yeah, I do a lot of those kind of things. Levy Rosman, who is Gotham Chess on YouTube and does an instructional channel, is the biggest chess YouTuber there is with over 4 million subscribers. Just put out a book for newbies, and I want to read through that because I'd kind of like to get that as a gift to my nieces. My older niece has started to play a little bit. She's 7, and my younger niece hasn't learned yet, but she's 4. So I'd kind of like that. Yeah, my dad taught me when I was 7, so I have been a massive chess, fanatic since I was pretty small. Um, Kinda 7 is what I trace everything to. That was apparently a fundamental age to me because that's when I became a Cubs fan. That's when I, became really into Husker football. I was always aware of it and sort of cared, but at that point was when I really got into it. Is when I started playing chess and got into it. Right around that time, somewhere would have been when I read Narnia and The Hobbit. Maybe it was a couple years after that, but close enough. So that was kind of a fundamental time in all of my interests and hobbies. So it's good. All right. Got just a few more minutes. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing, and I hope you've gotten a little bit of a glimpse into what's going on with me lately. It's been fun to see what you guys are all reading and enjoying, so that's good. But we'll give it a few more minutes, and then I think I'm going to sign out for the day. Um, and we'll get wife and I will get started on the day and go have some Korean barbecue and whatever else we do. I think we'll probably see a movie. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll be a movie that we both enjoy because, as you heard earlier, it's been pretty thin lately. Uh, hey, Shad, what's up? I hope you're doing well. You caught just in time for me to almost sign off, so uh, I appreciate you dropping in. If you have any questions, now is the time, or anything you want to chat about. We've got. I'll hang longer if we want or need to. Good stuff. Yeah. Um, cool. Well, I mean, we still got people here, so if people still have questions or anything you want to talk about, we will go for as long as people want to go. I am not in any super big hurry. Yeah, I like Korean barbecue. My wife loves Korean barbecue, so she she has been mentioning it. She's super excited to go to this Korean barbecue place. We've been to it before. It's very good. They have really good food, and so I think we'll probably do that for lunch. I have not read Dandelion Dynasty yet. It is one of the series I want to get to this year. But everybody tells me that I will adore it, so I'm kind of trusting that they're correct. People tend to know my taste pretty well. I am a little bummed that they didn't get a different audiobook narrator than Michael Kramer, but you get what you get as an audiobook fan, so it is what it is. But I will get to it for sure. Yeah, and Rogue is reading it right now and says that it's brilliant. So I definitely want to get to it. I've heard nothing but praise for it, and I just need to make the time and make that happen. Yeah, I'm actually making myself hungry talking about food as well. So I get it. Steve says, looking forward to Dandelion Dynasty as well, trying to figure out how and when to fit it in the chunkier books. Yeah. Um, it it is a good problem to have, but also kind of an annoying problem to have that there's too many things I want to read. So prioritizing has been tough for me and occasionally causes me to just lock up and read nothing instead, which is not ideal. So that's a little bit of what led to my sort of reading slump last year was just I couldn't figure out what I wanted to read, so I ended up not reading, which is not the right way to tackle that problem. Uncharted TBR2. Rogue has read books 1 and 2, 10 months apart, and it was fine. Okay. Well, I definitely, when I read it, I'm not going to space them apart 10 months. I will probably do a book a month, but I just don't know when that's going to happen. I had actually planned to buddy read them with my friend Joanna Stormblast last year, and we just never got around to it. I need to check and see how she's doing. I haven't really caught up with her since we did our Song of Ice and Fire read along last year. I know she hadn't been posting as frequently, but I'm not saying that in a bad way because neither have I. So I don't know. I hope she's doing well. I hope everything's good. Yeah, that's right. Books 3 and 4 were intended to be a single novel to be a trilogy, and they split it. I think I remember hearing that. Currently working on Wandering In, loving it. Not sure you would like it. Yeah. So, excuse me. Sorry, battling a cold. I have read samples of Wandering In. I won't say I'll never do it, but it just isn't appealing to me. It just doesn't feel like my kind of thing. Um, it's a little bit kind of in that same vein as Cradle, where I know that people are mega fanatical about it and really, really love it, and I'm so happy that it exists for them. But it just doesn't feel like my deal. Um, I did recently kind of try to start the Dungeon Crawler Carl novel, the first book, which is kind of in that same vein. It has a huge fanatical audience. And immersively read the first 2 chapters just to get a sense of what it was. And it's interesting, but it's also one that I feel like I don't have an immediate need to get to. So I kind of backburnered it, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think that it has a very loyal following, and it seems like something that will keep you entertained for a long time because it's massive. Excuse me. It is very, very long and very daunting. That is correct. We'll try it eventually. I won't say I never will, but it's definitely not a big priority for me. Well, that's good to see that you are enjoying it and you didn't think you would. I mean, that's speaks to the quality of it. Rogue tried to start Cradle 3 or 4 times, and furthest I got was chapter 2. Yeah, I I don't know. I tried to listen to the first part of the first book as well, and it just wasn't gripping me in any way. And just the whole concept of progression fantasy just isn't really my jam. Not really my thing. Didn't like Cradle. Not really a huge progressive lit RPG fan. Yeah, I think I fall in that same camp. I don't know. I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and like, not nothing wrong with it. I have nothing against it. I did tons of nerdy stuff. I'm a chess player. I played Magic the Gathering. I still love both of those things. So it's not like an indictment on anything, but just I didn't get into kind of that Dungeons and Dragons kind of deal, World of Warcraft and all that stuff. So the whole like leveling up and this kind of stuff is just it's not my thing. But that is good you're liking it. How far along are you, Shad? Did you, because they, like, there's the website, right, that has like the ongoing story where the author is done, just zip through a bunch of stuff. And then they're releasing them on book form and audio as well, right? I think, if I understand it correctly. On book 7. Okay. So there's 11 audiobooks out. That's correct. Okay. And I've heard really good things about the narrator as well. So that's cool as well. Mike says finishing up Demon in White. Fantastic. My favorite book is Kingdoms of Death, which is book number 4. That is a very rare thing for a Sun Eater fan to say. But for me, it has everything. I love all the right elements. For many people, I won't say for everybody, but for many people, Demon in White is their favorite in Sun Eater. So it is not a surprise that it is your favorite so far. Yeah, that's good to hear. Narrator for Wandering In is superb, you say. So that is fantastic. Oh, is this your first time reading Sun Eater Shot? Okay. Yes, Howling Dark rules so much, as does Demon in White, as does Kingdoms of Death, as does Ashes of Man, as does Disquiet Gods, which I read last month. So good stuff. Awesome. New people being welcomed into the Empire always makes me happy. So that is good. Um, good stuff. Still a few long fantasy series I want to read, and that includes rereads of Malazan and Dresden Files. Yeah, I am due a reread of Dresden. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Probably when he releases or announces the date of 12 months, whenever that is going to be. So some of the books I've read 3 or 4 times. Some of them I've only read the one time. Like Battleground is my favorite. I've only read it one time. So I am really looking forward to doing a full-on Dresden reread. I will do it all immersively, or at least audio. Um, but yeah, super excited for Dresden reread. Malazan, I've done the Big Ten books, and I was telling Chaudia earlier, I've read some of the Esselmont stuff, but at some point I'd like to do all of it, but it's just not a priority right now. Yeah, there's never a bad time to do a Dresden reread. So good, so good. I love Dark Tower. I read it in 2021. Yeah, I think, yeah, 2.5, 3 years ago. I read Dark Tower, and it's a top 10 series for me. I love it. Um, Gunslinger can be a little bit hard to get into, but if and when you do, I would encourage you to continue. I think books 2, 3, and 4 are some of my favorite, not only King books, but some of my favorites within kind of that fantasy, dark fantasy, Western fantasy genre. So, and then 5, 6, and 7 had some bumps for me personally. There were some ups and downs, but overall, I really, really love the series. Didn't you just reread Dresden? I thought you just did this, which is no problem because Dresden is so rereadable. But I thought you had just done this, Zen. Maybe I'm confused, but I could have sworn you just completed a Dresden read recently. Only read the first Dark Tower book and started book 2, but yeah. So you're gonna be. There's there's plenty of confusion to be had in the tower. That's just kind of the way it goes. I adore that second book. I think it's fantastic, but it is very, very strange. It's unlike anything you've ever read before. So you just got to kind of roll with it if you're willing to give it a chance. Oh, I got it. Okay, so you did a sight read of. Okay, I thought for some reason you had done audio for Dresden, so you haven't listened to Marsters be an S tier narrator of Dresden Files yet. Well, you're gonna really enjoy yourself. Andy is here. What's up, man? This is my old boss, Andy. I'm glad he's here. He is a huge Stephen King fan. Awesome guy. Drawing of the Three, yes, is an amazing, amazing book. Correct. Wizard and Glass Book 4 is my absolute favorite, but yeah, it's hard to do a whole lot better than Drawing of the Three. Huge Buffy fan. Yeah, I've never watched Buffy, as we've talked about, but if you like that, probably going to like Dresden on audio. What else we got, my friends? I appreciate y'all sticking with me. This has been a good stream, been a lot of fun. Yeah, Wizard and Glass is just so good. Like there's a lot of people that didn't like it because they felt like it took away from the main storyline. I happen to really, really enjoy the flashback scenes between Roland and Susanna and so forth and the old quartet. So I just had an amazing time. Forgot about that. Why? I don't. It just feels weird to start Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a 45-year-old man. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like something that would be would be something I would get into too much. Yeah, my favorite hot book is my favorite book in Realm of the Elderlings, which is Assassin's Fate, which is the final book of Realm of the Elderlings. I felt like it was the best book I read in the last 20 years since I read Storm of Swords, which, as we know, Song of Ice and Fire is my favorite series of all time. Realm of the Elderlings is number two, and that book ties everything nicely for me. I think it, in my opinion, makes every book before it even better, which is quite a feat. I think it's just brilliant. So, Chaudy liked Buffy as well. DNF the first Dresden. What are you doing? No, I'm kidding. Um, it is not for everybody necessarily, but I will also say the first one or two Dresden books are not a good representation of what the series becomes. They introduce you to Harry and kind of what's going on, but they're also they're distinctly different in terms of quality, in terms of character base, in terms of where the story's going than what comes after that. So it would be worth potentially your time to try again, but I get it if you don't want to. It's one of my favorite all-time series. See, this is where we diverge in because I didn't like Win Through the Keyhole at all, which could potentially have been a me problem. I read it after I had read The Dark Tower proper and wanted to kind of view it as a dessert after the main course, and I just didn't get what I wanted out of that book. I will likely try it again at some point, but when I read it, I didn't have a good time. And it could have been, like I said, a me problem. I'm not sure. Andy has never watched Buffy. Maybe I need this on your binge list. Maybe I do too. Enough people tell me that it would be my kind of thing, but I don't know. I don't know. But Buffy's still good. I still put on the old DVDs sometimes. You're 40. Oh, I didn't know you were 41, Chadi. I thought you were much younger than that. So I don't know. Maybe it is worth trying. We'll see. I agree. I think Storm of Swords is the best fantasy book ever written. Not everyone feels the same way I do about Assassin's Fate. There are even Hob mega fans that think it's just okay or not good, but I thought it was amazing. So I thought it was my favorite thing ever. DNF'd after full moon. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So crisis averted. So yes, grave peril is where it starts to get pretty good. I was hooked after the following book, Summer Night. So I read. So kind of going back many years. Butcher was one of these authors that George Martin was like, you fantasy fans, you're waiting for me. You need to read these authors. And he said Robin Hobb, he said Joe Abercrombie, he said Scott Lynch, he said Jim Butcher, all of which are some of my favorite authors in the genre now. And when I started reading Dresden, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is fine. And then for whatever reason, Summer Night, I'm like, this is for me. And since that point, I've read every single Dresden book as it came out. And I've been a massive fan since. Let's see. Some more comments. Red Winthrop. I think that's probably the right way to have done it. If I do a reread at some point, that's probably what I'll do. Um, it seems like a book that should work for me, but for whatever reason, I just didn't have a good time. Haven't watched Buffy either. I'm sure there's plenty of us that have not. Only seen 2 and a bit seasons of Buffy. That is true. People tell me that as a Dresden fanatic, Buffy will be up my alley, which makes sense. I also think that Butcher himself is a massive Buffy fan, so that makes sense. I don't know. Feels like a weird thing to start late in life. Still need to read the last book and went through the keyhole. Do you like the last book? So here's the thing. So I like book one well enough. Books two, three, and four are some of my favorite books, any genre, anywhere. Book five, Wolves of the Kala, I enjoyed for the most part. I'm happy to have read Salem's Lot first so that I had context. So I like that a lot. And then things really ground to a halt. I hated I hated book 6. What is Susanna or whatever? Song of Susanna. I didn't like that at all. And I was nervous because for about half of the final book, I also wasn't having a very good time. But I felt like he ended it strong. I liked the ending that he chose. There's some things he chose to do along the way that I didn't enjoy, but overall, I think book 7 is pretty good. I think it's hard to end a series like that, and I think he did a pretty good job of doing so. For somebody that is not known for particularly strong endings, I feel like he ended it pretty strong. Um, and then went through the keyhole. Maybe I was just in a bad mood or something. I don't know, but I didn't have a good time. Correct. Yeah, Storm of Swords. It's hard to pick a book that is more amazing. It is certainly my favorite book when it comes to speculative fiction. Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand is my favorite book ever, and I'll probably get thrown off of YouTube for saying that, but Storm of Swords is probably number 2. That is correct. Dresden, just the scale of how much better it gets in quality is very impressive. Buffy's pretty long. Each season's 20 plus episodes. That feels like a commitment. I don't do well with commitment. I don't I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that or not. I think that is probably true. There have been a few. So TV is hard for me to get invested in because when it's so many episodes, so many seasons, I feel overwhelmed. But there have certainly been seasons like that that hook me, and I just want them to go on forever. But it is certainly rare. So we shall see. I have watched some Supernatural. My wife binged it, and I watched a little bit with her. That was fine. That wasn't really my thing either, but I thought it was well done. The acting was good. The writing was good. It just wasn't anything that particularly piqued my interest, but that's okay. I've heard that as well. That there are some pretty rough seasons of Supernatural, and I wasn't invested enough to, notice. I just sort of was checking out Monster of the Week stuff when she'd have it on. I'd sometimes take a peek. Went to hell and came back too many times. Well, I mean, realistically, seems like one time would be too many. That's another show she really enjoys that I'll watch with her on occasion is Lucifer. Speaking of hell, she loves that show, and that is something that I feel like she would want more seasons and more episodes of. Um, I thought that was a decent show. All right. What else we got cooking? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The actor Tom Elliott, I can't think of his name, but he is amazing in that role. Massive Doctor Who, and I think it's technically on its 40th season. Yeah, I that is another property that I just know zilch about, other than like pop culture stuff I've heard from other people. Um, it feels like something there's too much there, like too much to tread through. I've missed the boat, so but there's tons of people that love it, so that's good. Gave up on Doctor Who too long for Chadia, so yeah, it feels like when you talk about a commitment, that feels like something that's a commitment. Said it once, maybe I missed it. Thinking about Cosby deep dive. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, yeah. Wind and Truth is a pretty rough title in a series that's known for awesome titles. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm excited about Stormlight 5. I think that is going to be an event. I am excited to see what we get. Um, I will most certainly be reading on a release day. Yeah, that title is definitely not the best. That is correct, and I think it was even worse. And like this is like a compromise, um, and slightly better than whatever nonsense they had uh, initially. Like even people that don't like the book Rhythm of War, like what a cool title. I enjoyed it, but like Rhythm of War, what a cool title. And you got Words of Radiance, like these are awesome titles. And then you got Wind and Truth. No good. That's what it was. It was the Knights of Wind and Truth. Not good. Yeah, Hobb isn't known for her great titles. That you're not wrong. Uh, she she probably could have gotten some help along the way with cooler titles. I can't argue with that. Um, but you know, when her books are so good, I don't care what the title says. So, all right. Well, let's see what we got. Agree. The best character writer there is. We'll give it a couple more minutes for any last minute questions. We went a little bit longer, which is great. So I'm happy people have showed up and are uh, asking questions and so forth. But we'll give it a few more minutes and then I probably should shut things down for the day. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see, even names of places are bad. You're not wrong. Like, yeah, it's just naming in general, not necessarily a strength of Miss Hobb. Um, but when everything else is, that's all right with me. You don't like Chalced? No, no, we don't. All right, what do we got? Yeah, favorite Sun Eater book is Kingdoms of Death, book 4. So, um, which is a little bit of a unique take among the fandom. For many people, it is either their least favorite or the one that causes them the most heartache and anguish, or both. But for me, it has all the elements that I really love, and it just advances the story so much. And it also peeks in at the Cielson in a way that that hadn't been done to that point. So it's my favorite, but I love all of the books. They're all 5 stars for me. Disquiet Gods is very close. Uh, it may eclipse Kingdoms of Death at some point. I read the arc of that and liked it maybe as much or very, very close. So, um, yeah, asking me my favorite Sun Eater book is a bit unique because I love them all. Just a fantastic story. Oh, thanks, Shad. I appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, Bingtown sounds like something a kid would name a toilet. Yeah, not a great name. Not a great name. Chadi's off to get food. Hey, thanks for dropping in. It was so good to see you. I appreciate it. Uh, I'm on book 3 now. Yeah, Demon in White is so good. Demon in White is an incredible read and many people's favorite in the Sun Eater universe. So I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad you have joined the Empire, Mike. It's great to see. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody. I am wrapping it up for the day. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekends. And as always, publication order always, my friends.